Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Gun laws save lives, or at least that's what we've been told time and time and time again. If we had $1 for every time we heard that, we'd all be retired. But is it true? Well, occasionally along comes a study, one that I think is really objective in nature, and sometimes the data just screams answers at you. And this is one of those examples. So we're going to slow it down. We're going to take a look at some objective data, and we're going to come to a couple of conclusions. So today, let's talk about, do gun laws really save lives? A real look at the numbers. Okay, so what we're talking about today is a new study to come from JAMA. What's JAMA? That is the Journal of American Medical Associates. It's a very, very respectable publication. They actually have journals in all sorts of different areas, and this is some of the leading medical researchers in the country that contribute to JAMA. Now, what caught my attention was, one, the Daily Mail, and then a follow-up article on AmmoLand. If you're not checking out both of those news sites, you should be doing so on a daily basis. What really caught my attention was the headline in Daily Mail, which read as follows: America's mass shooting hotspots revealed. First of its kind study breaks down thousands of massacres by state, and there's no correlation between gun laws. What you say, there's no correlation between gun laws? No, that can't be right, because we've always been told that the states with the strictest gun laws are in fact the safest, and the ones with the least restrictive gun laws, well, they're the most dangerous. Is that true according to JAMA? Now, this is an independent medical study, so they're not trying to push any political agenda here, okay? They're actually trying to give other medical professionals objective evidence to which they can make up their own minds from. Shocking. You remember when we all used to learn that way? Okay, so let's talk about, what did the study find was the top 3 most dangerous places in America when it comes to mass shooting. Okay, now listen, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to talk about this numerical value. And the numerical value is, so for example, if I use 7.1, what I am saying is that in that particular geographical area, 7.1 per every 1 million people in that geographical area will be the victim of a homicide. So obviously the lower the number, the better. Let's talk about the top 3, because it kind of begins to show exactly what we're talking about here. The rate of mass shootings per 1 million people was highest in the District of Columbia, 10.4 shootings, followed by much lower rates in Louisiana, 4.2 mass shootings, in Illinois, 3.6 mass shootings, the states with the next 2 highest rates. Okay, let me get this straight. The District of Columbia is more than twice lapping the field here, 10.2 murders per every 1 million people. The next on the list is the state of Louisiana, known to be very freedom-loving with their gun laws, but very next on the list is the state of Illinois. No state has cracked down on the Second Amendment rights of its citizens more than the state of Illinois. So we find in the top 3, 2 of the most restrictive jurisdictions anywhere in the United States. Now, if we extrapolate out and we took a look at the top 10, we're also going to see a real variation here, because the top 10 are in order: Washington, D.C., 10.43 per million. Louisiana, 4.28 per million. Illinois, 3.61 per million. Mississippi, 2.91 per million. Alabama, 2.32 per million. Missouri, 2.29 per million. South Carolina, 2.26 per million. Maryland, 2.2 per million. Delaware, 2.18 per million. Tennessee, 2.03 per million. And so you see right there in the top 10, there are 4 jurisdictions, nearly half of them, which are incredibly well known for its incredibly strict gun laws. Now, here's what else is really interesting. If you take a look at all of the mass shootings that this group studied over the time period of data that they looked at, there were two states that actually had 0 mass shootings during that time period. They are Hawaii, some of the most restrictive gun laws in America, and North Dakota, literally no gun laws. Okay, so we see 2 states on literally the polar opposites, both enjoying 0 mass shootings in that state. And when it comes to the total number of mass shootings, well, number 1 and number 2 will raise your eyebrows, because this is what the study found. The data shows that Illinois had the most mass shootings, 414. California came in second with 367, while Texas reportedly had 270 such incidents. And then there's the old adage, an armed society is a polite society. Is that true? Well, you can take a look at the data. If you take a look at the percentage of firearm ownership in that state, and then compare that to the numerical value of the violent crime over a per capita rate, yeah, you can come up with some pretty objective numbers. What did the JAMA study find? The state with the highest rate of gun ownership is Montana, where 66.3% of adults own a gun, and it had one of the lowest numbers of mass shootings at 4. Neighboring Wyoming, which is the second highest for gun ownership at 66.2% of adults owning guns, only had 1 mass shooting. So, as you can see, 2 states with the absolute highest gun ownership had very little mass shooting activity. Now, we have to acknowledge that those states are far less densely populated. So there is a little grain of salt. And again, that's what you have deviations for and all of that. But take a look at the numerical value then found in more populous states. New York, with 19.9% gun ownership, had 186 mass shootings, and New Jersey, with a 14.7% gun ownership, had 93 mass shootings. And so when we take a look at this data objectively, what we find is that there is absolutely no correlation between the types of gun laws and the number of mass shootings. We do, however, begin to see a numerical correlation between the percentage of gun ownership and a reduction in mass shootings. Now, I'm sure that other people will go ahead and tear this data apart and come to other conclusions. And one of the things I had a statistics professor tell me in undergrad is that the only thing statistics have ever accurately proven is that women have more babies than men, and unfortunately that's subject to debate in the year 2023 as well. The bottom line is that no matter how many times they scream it, no matter how many times they say it, no matter how many times they claim that gun control laws save lives, the bottom line is the numbers just simply do not support that. Listen, we're going to go ahead and link the study up down below so you guys can all geek out on it for yourself. If you got any other questions about this or anything else related to our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to contact Washington Gun Law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information is right down there in the description box. Now, in the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.